Hey gents, today we're going to talk about this trench coat. This is the American Trench brand trench, the product. And they sent it to me just to wear for a video. I had no intention of doing a video on it, but after wearing it for a couple of weeks and having to send it back, and I'll tell you why it's now become one of those top tier items for what I want to get in my next, like when I invest in something, and for good reason. So I'll talk through this a little bit. Video's not sponsored or paid for, as with most of my videos. This is just my thoughts and my excitement over great products. So I came across American Trench when I did my video on American-made companies. You guys suggested this one, so thank you for suggestions on that video. And if you want to see the directory of all American-made brands, I'll put a link to that below. But American Trench started as a Kickstarter brand, and they came out with this trench coat. They also do some socks, but all of their stuff is made in the US, and they try to source everything as much as they can, whether it be very fine materials from Italy, but then also American-made fabrics. And what's interesting about this trench is it uses Ventile fabric. And so first we'll talk about the quality of the jacket, the construction, we'll talk about the fit, and then the styling, and then of course why it is $850. So we'll start with the Ventile fabric, the biggest differentiator with this jacket. If you look for other Ventile fabrics, they are typically in this price range. I was looking for a couple of others. There's some that are over $1,000. There's some that are in that like $600, $700 range. And the reason is because Ventile fabric is expensive as a raw material, but the properties of it are what make it such a durable, long-lasting material. And so the way that the Ventile fabric is created today is it's actually milled from Supima cotton in the US. It is then sent over to Switzerland for the weaving as part of the Ventile fabric construction, and then it's sent back to the US in order to be created because it's manufactured right in New Jersey, about 30 minutes outside of New York City. Ventile fabric was developed in the 40s for World War II RAF pilots. The challenge to the people who developed it was to create a suit that pilots could wear and save their lives when their planes went down in the water. So Ventile fabric was developed out of that. So since it was developed for those pilots, Ventile is frequently used for garments that need to be extremely durable. So after it was used for RAF pilots, it was used by Sir Edmund Hillary as he climbed Everest. It's used in polar exploration expeditions. And so Ventile fabric itself, it's extremely unique. It's an extremely tightly woven cotton, which gives it the waterproof properties, but also helps it against wind and snow. But because it's activated by water or the rain, it is very breathable. So I've been wearing this trench out in like the light spring, and it feels extremely comfortable. But then if it does, I'm never worried about the rain anymore. And then it also has a couple of unique features. So on the inside, you can see that there's just kind of this lightweight lining, but there's buttons all along the inner lining, which you can then stitch in like a heavier weight lining on the inside in case you do want this to go from a lightweight spring summer jacket into something a little bit more for fall winter. So the waterproof properties are considerably higher than a standard like wax cotton or like a poly cotton blend. And here's a little like clip from when I was getting out of my car. I actually got the perfect field test here because I got into the car without the jacket. It's kind of drizzling right now, so let's get a little bit of like actual rain on here. Probably won't be able to use the audio because it's very windy. This rain's a little bit closer to what I've worn this out in, but then I realized it's kind of silly to compare it to any rain because it's like this stuff is worn on Everest anyway. So here's like water being poured on it to help demonstrate, and then the pants too. And so yeah, the light rain isn't a great example. This is me just pouring water onto it. And what's really unique about the Ventile fabric, again, developed for fighter pilots, is that it does seal up as the water comes in, but it never truly lets the water penetrate the fabric. A great example of this are the performance chinos that I really like. And you can see that after the fabric gets wet, it definitely beads the moisture, gets it off of the pant. But if it sits on there long enough, it will penetrate the fabric. And so while the pants are great for like a light rain or a stain, like getting ketchup off of you, eventually with most waterproof fabrics, other than Ventile and a couple other very specific, highly technical fabrics. That complete waterproof fabric is the difference you're seeing with the Ventile versus something that's only treated with DWR or some other water repellent technology. And you can see in that video too, there's an optional hood here, and so you can take this off, unbutton it just like you would the inner lining. So you can make this kind of like a casual trench wear, you know, spring, summer, that sort of thing, but then you could convert it into a more refined jacket, take off the hood so you just get the collar look, and then if you want to take it into winter, into a little bit more inclement weather, it's great, you know, the wind and water resistance is really good, but then you put that inner lining on the inside, and that's what would really take this into like a 3, almost 4 season jacket. As far as the fit goes, I like the way that this one fits. It's a little bit more modern. It's not like a full trench, like a Burberry trench is much longer. This kind of comes midway down my thigh, but I like the way that it fits. I usually wear a size 38 jacket. This is a size 40. I wanted to have a little bit of wiggle room in case I was wearing like a blazer or a jacket. And so I definitely would, if you're like, you know, like my perfect size, like if I order from Suit Supply, is a 39 long. So I'm like right between those two. I would size up because you want a little bit, you know, it's a jacket. It's not supposed to be this super slim cut sort of thing. As far as the arm length as well, I'm a tall guy, 6'4", and the sleeves have, you know, nice length to them. And they have this 2 buttons, so if you can make it a little bit tighter on my skinny little lanky arms. So as far as style goes, I mean, it comes in a khaki and a navy, and the way that it's designed here with this simple button enclosure, the collar design, the way the pockets sit, I mean, this will look as good today as it will in 20, 30 years, not just because of the timeless looking style, but also because the fabric is built to be that durable too. So that obviously leads us to the discussion of like the cost per wear. So this jacket retails for $850, and there's 2 options today between the khaki and the navy. Either one are going to be extremely durable, but if you have this jacket for an extremely long time, it's kind of like a Barber jacket, or I think a good comparison is like a Burberry jacket. Burberry jackets are not as waterproof, they don't have as unique of a fabric, but those are, you know, $1,500, $2,000. You can buy them vintage, of course, but they're much more expensive for a jacket. So obviously it doesn't have the name recognition of being a Burberry, but an American-made jacket from a very cool fabric that's going to last you as long as a Burberry jacket. That's why I think this becomes a great value. So as the American trench, this kind of setup here brought to you by Carl Morawski. I like the way that he sets things up when he talks about them. And if you have any questions about it, I'm gonna see how much longer I can hang on to this thing because I really like it as a spring-summer jacket. I don't really have a good spring-summer jacket. The other one that I have is a waxed canvas jacket, and the fabric is a lot louder whenever you wear it. It's a similar waterproofing, but you know, the Ventile on this thing is very nice. So have any questions about it, have an answer, I'll put links below so you can check them out. Do check out American Trench. I've been wearing their no-show socks, which are also made in the US. They have a pretty cool story behind them with the Kennedy sock and some other things, and so American Trench is a brand I'm gonna keep my eye on since I did that American by Choice site. So as always guys, I love the recommendations that you have on brands, products, suggestions for reviews and videos. I wouldn't have 70,000 subscribers without you guys. Thank you so much, and as always, DMs are open and that sort of thing on social media. Until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.